The truth about SSDs. Stop doing this immediately. I'm Hewie Poplock. This presentation explains why certain software utilities, especially older optimization tools, can dramatically reduce the lifespan of a solid-state drive. SSDs are incredibly fast and durable, but they behave very differently from the traditional hard drives. Today we'll look at the software that causes the most wear and how that wear happens and what you can do to keep your SSD healthy for years. To understand why some tools are harmful, we first need to understand how SSDs age. SSDs use flash memory cells, and each cell has a limited number of writes it can handle. Modern SSDs use smartware leveling to spread writes out, but excessive or unnecessary writes still speed up wear. We'll also look at something called write amplification, when the SSD ends up writing much more data internally than you intended. High write amplification is one of the biggest contributors to early SSD wear. These are the three major types of software that generate unnecessary write activities. These tools were designed in the era of spinning hard drives and do not help SSDs at all. In fact, many of them silently perform large amounts of background writing that you never see. We'll explore defrag tools, aggressive indexing, and real-time backup utilities. Next, we look at the PC optimizer category. These utilities promise faster performance, but their techniques, registry cleaning, temp file purging, and RAM manipulation often cause more harm than good. Windows already manages these areas efficiently, and third-party tools usually increase SSD writes while offering little or no real improvement. On SSDs, these operations can shorten drive life over time. Even built-in Windows features can create write activity that affects SSD longevity. System restore and shadow copies save large snapshots, while older features like superfetch and prefetch produce constant small writes. Some features are useful, some are legacy leftovers, but all of them contribute to write volume. Understanding these features helps you make smarter decisions about configuration. This slide puts the issue in perspective. A typical 500 gigabyte SSD might be rated for about 150 terabytes of writes. That's plenty for normal use, but the wrong software tools can multiply write volume by 3 to 5 times, dramatically shortening lifespan. Running several of these utilities together over a period of years can reduce SSD longevity by as much as 70%. This is why minimizing unnecessary writes matters. Fortunately, protecting your SSD is simple. Modern SSDs include advanced firmware that handles internal optimization automatically. No special utilities required. Monitoring SSD health should be done with safe tools provided by the manufacturer or trusted diagnostic apps. And maintenance activities like cleanup and backups are best done on a schedule instead of running continuously in the background. This slide highlights the practical configuration changes you can make to reduce daily write volume. Disabling hibernation prevents large multi-gigabyte writes every time your system powers down. Reducing browser cache writes or moving the cache to RAM helps limit constant background writing. And relocating temporary folders to a secondary hard drive, if you have one, keeps high churn temporary data away from your main SSD. Despite everything discussed so far, it's important to keep the bigger picture in mind. Modern SSDs are much more durable than people think. Most consumer SSDs last far beyond their rated write endurance, often 3 to 10 times longer in real-world tests. Most cases, your SSD will become outdated long before it wears out. The goal is simply to avoid extreme or unnecessary write behaviors. So to wrap up, never run disk defragmentation tools on an SSD. Avoid aggressive cleanup, registry, and optimizer utilities that generate extra writes. Adjust Windows features like hibernation, system restore, and page file settings when appropriate. Trust the SSD's own internal optimization systems. They are extremely efficient. Following these practices ensures your SSD will remain fast, healthy, and long-lasting.